This podcast is brought to you by People's Food Co-op, a community-owned grocery store in downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin and Rochester, Minnesota, that promotes local farmers and producers through an emphasis on fresh, healthy, sustainable food. Anyone can shop. Everyone is welcome. For more information, visit them online at pfc.coop. This podcast is also brought to you by Trempealeau County Tourism. Whether your idea of fun is bicycling, hiking, or canoeing, afterwards head into the heart of one of their welcoming communities to experience historic architecture, independent shops, and locally owned dining establishments. Visit Trempealeau County Tourism online. We got the opportunity to chat with Austin Durry, one half of the band Durry. Formed in 2020 in the wake of the COVID pandemic, these quarantined siblings embraced openness, honesty, and transparency in songwriting and received a major boost from their viral TikTok song, Who's Laughing Now? Check them out live at Midwest Music Fest coming up in Winona, Minnesota. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
My mama always said I would regret it if I ever got a tattoo. She said I'd never get a job like I ever wanted one without attitude.
My first experience with your music specifically was with Coyote Kid, Mile of Music. Saw you guys play once. Wasn't actually going to go see you specifically, but caught you. But by the end of the weekend, I think we ended up seeing your band probably 3 or 4 times. I think you have to play like half a dozen times in like a day, don't you?
Yeah, Mile of Music. I remember that. I think we had 3 shows in one day. By the end of it, we were all destroyed.
But I mean, really, something that we ended up following that band, or I did and my wife did, your social presence, just the way you interact with that, is similar to Durry in a way that it seems to be kind of like honest about kind of going after it, just being a band. Why is sharing kind of important to your philosophy that kind of goes along with your music? I think that kind of is in reference to your recent success.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, people want catchy tunes, but they also just want to like relate to you, and they want to just like hear the cold hard truth about what's going on and stuff. So I think it's a big proponent of sharing the music and sharing a part of ourselves with it, and just being real about everything that's going on and how hard it is to be in a band and be on the road and all that stuff too.
Just looking at Who's Laughing Now, which I think was one of the biggest signals. Was it TikTok that kind of kicked that off? What was that ride like, or what is it like now?
Yeah, it's been wild. Yeah, that song, prior to that song, Durry was the goofy side project of Coyote Kid, and my sister and I had made a couple songs. I think we had like 60 monthly listeners at the time. Our TikToks were getting like whatever, a couple hundred views maybe. But yeah, then I posted just a demo of Who's Laughing Now, and it went viral on TikTok, which is crazy. And then so we were like, okay, we should like capitalize on this and try and finish the song and release the song as quickly as possible. So we ended up like calling up my buddy that we record with, and he cleared his schedule the next day, and we went in and recorded the whole song in one day. The following day after it went viral, and then on the third day he mixed it and we posted it just to Spotify like by the third day. So I also went and got like the tattoo for the cover art and stuff like that, all in that little 3-day period. And yeah, I think that speed really helped it, so that when we posted it, it got on the playlist. It did really good because of all the TikTok momentum. And then we posted a little music video that we made on my phone in our garage, that like yellow backdrop one. And that's the one that went like super viral. And that's the one that now has like millions of views. And And it's just kind of been skyrocketing ever since that. So,
What do you think from that song? What do you think it kind of related to people with?
it's kind of all about like the life advice that a lot of us were given that feels irrelevant. You know what I mean? And like how it kind of pokes fun at some things, and it's like lighthearted, but there's kind of a serious core to it too. Talking about like the struggles of, the economy and the state of the world that we've inherited from the previous generation. And the term "who's laughing now" kind of flip-flops of like if it's self-deprecating or not. Like the first one is like, this is the state of the world, we can't escape, the daily grind. Who's laughing now is like the joke of like, you were wrong because we could make it, but you were wrong. Who's laughing now? We're screwed. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then it kind of flip-flops, and then by the end there's some hope to it, and there's some glimmer of hope in the message. So yeah, I think people just relate to the feeling of irrelevant advice and a world left to us in shambles, and people being wrong about stuff.
Was this band kind of elevated in some sense, I guess, due to time or anything related to like COVID? Was there a transition period of spending more time with it, or how was COVID for you?
COVID was the reason this band happened. I mean, because it was like I had booked a super long tour with Coyote Kid, worked like all year on this tour. And that was summer of 2020. I was going to be like our time, right? So that all went down, and all of a sudden I had all the time in the world. And so that's when I started poking around with music software and learning about synths and kind of just goofing around. And that's when I started making stuff I liked and showing it to my sister. And she started, having feedback, and it all just kind of grew out of just having the time for it. And also just both of us being quarantined in the same house with nothing better to do.
Kind of following along on your social media related to the shows you've been doing. You have a show coming up at Midwest Music Fest in Winona. What can people kind of expect from your live shows?
Yeah, we try to make our live shows really fun. We're like pretty new. Like we've only been around for like a year, and that was a COVID year. So we've played a total of, I think, 10 shows now ever. So we're pretty fresh. But yeah, our live show, we try to keep it really high energy and really interactive. We have some little bits we do with the crowd and stuff. And so far, the shows have all been really for like fans. So they've all been these big sing-along things, which have been really awesome. Yeah, people show up and they know the words and they all sing along, and it's this great community thing. And yeah, so that's kind of what we're striving for, is just having to be a big rock and roll party,
And this is just kind of maybe a side, but what's it like going from like the black suits to like dad shoes, like New Balance and sweatpants?
Yeah, been quite a shift. That's kind of emblematic of the whole difference between the two acts of, Coyote Kid was all about the story, all about this kind of fantasy world that we had made, this kind of like sci-fi Western thing. And it was a really fun escape to do that. And it was fun to put on the costume and the like cowboy hat and stuff and kind of play that character. And yeah, Durry is just all about reality. It's kind of coming back to the real state of things, and, being goofy and being ourselves and just putting it all out there. And that's where the dad shoes and the all that kind of look kind of happened, just from like being like, hey, let's just be comfy and wear what we want to wear and not worry about it too much,
So what's coming up? What's next in the next year or two?
I mean, the next year is hard to say. Midwest Music Fest is going to be awesome. We were playing Utaples Brewing in May in Minneapolis, cooking up a bunch of shows. I actually have a meeting later today with our booking agent to make some plans. So we'll be playing a lot of shows. We have like a ton of music in store that will be rolling out slowly over the next couple months. So maybe we can put out a full-length album at some point. We're like pretty close to that many singles right now, but we're trying to do that right and, play the game right with record labels and stuff. So, but yeah, we're playing a ton of shows, putting out a ton of content. Yeah, keeping the machine rolling,
So, it looks like people can follow you on pretty much everything. What's your preferred thing that people can check out to get the initial effects of the band?
Yeah, TikTok is definitely our biggest platform. TikTok seems to be, and that's also where we post the most. And but also TikTok is a little bit like following doesn't mean that much on TikTok. You won't really see all our posts or whatever. So Instagram is kind of more if you want to really keep track of us and follow us in the future, Instagram is the spot to go. And we also started this new service in our link tree. You can find it. That's it's like a text notification service. So that every time we drop a song or every time we're touring or coming to your town or whatever, it'll send you a text just to give you the warning that we're coming or whatever it is. So that's the most foolproof way to really not miss anything and keep track of that. You can sign up for that on our Linktree thing.
Lacrosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at Lacrosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the Lacrosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.